Welcome back to ABC 7 Extra Sunday. I'm Mark Ross. We're coming to you from El Paso Water's Tech 2.0 Learning Center. And I'm joined by President and CEO of El Paso Water, John Ballou, and Gilbert Trejo, the Vice President of Engineering, Operations, and Technical Services. Gilbert, according to the Texas Water Development Board, we get 14.8% of our water supply from surface water, the Rio Grande, 70.9% from aquifers or groundwater, and another 14% from reuse. And they also say in the state's 2022 water plan that there could be a severe shortage of water in just 5 years. So what is El Paso Water doing to prevent that from happening?
Yeah, so for years, El Paso Water's strategy has always been to plan for these types of scenarios. So I think the message to El Pasoans is a year like the upcoming summer that's coming with little surface water, that won't impact El Pasoans the way they think they would. Because of these multiple sources of water that we have from 2 aquifers, one on either side of the mountain, the desalination facility that we have, and we've banked billions of gallons of water in the aquifer through the Fred Hervey Water Reclamation Facility. The strategy is in place to handle a year and a summer like is up and coming. So our diversified water portfolio is something that El Paso Water is very well known for across the country. We are a model for water resources planning. So even though a low surface water year is projected here for the coming summer, El Pasoans should not feel a pinch at all.
And you're closely watching the water levels coming down the Rio Grande, correct?
That's right. Jointly with the irrigation districts, they monitor the water, and they provide us with that information and allow us what our allocation of surface water will be, and we make our plans or calculations, and then we'll make plans to deliver that water to our customers.
So you're working closely, I would imagine, with El Paso Water Improvement District 1, right?
Correct.
Okay. Getting that pure water center built is critical, right, Mr. Ballou?
Yes, absolutely. So that is the linchpin to secure a water supply as normal, even if there's no water in the Rio Grande. So in the event of a drought, in 1953, there was no water in the Rio Grande. We've never seen that before, but there's probably going to happen again. So if there is no water in the Rio Grande, the Pure Water Center will be absolutely important. That will provide the necessary amount of water to make sure that we do not have to cut back.
Now, back before President Trump began his second term in office, his Health and Human Services Secretary-designate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said that on January 20th of this year, the president would advise all U.S. water systems to remove fluoride from drinking water. Now, that order, of course, did not happen, but if it ever happens, would El Paso Water follow the president's directive?
Okay, so that's a very good question. And it depends on what the directive actually says. But this is the difference, the key difference. We do not add fluoride to water. El Paso has never added fluoride to water. However, there's naturally occurring fluoride in the water. So if the directive just says to stop adding fluoride, we're good to go. If the directive says to remove fluoride, then that's going to be a huge effort because it's a small amount of fluoride that we're talking about. We're talking about in the vicinity of 1 to 2 parts per million. The current maximum level for fluoride is 4, but to go from 2 to nothing is going to take a Herculean and very expensive effort. So we hope what the order actually says is stop adding fluoride to the water.
And just let what happens naturally happen.
Right.
All right. Let's talk for a moment about the 7% rate increase that was approved back in January as part of your new fiscal budget. How does the increase affect a typical residential water user, and what, if any, discounts are available?
Okay, so if, let's say a customer continues using water at the same pace they've always been, then they're going to see a $5.23 increase in their monthly water bill. Now, they can save money by reducing water consumption. That's always been the case. Water conservation does save money. So the Public Service Board enacted 2 water saving strategies in the rate. So right now, a typical customer might use, let's say, 11 units of water during the course of the month. If they were to drop down to 4, they would save almost $14 a month. If they drop down to 1, that would be almost $25 a month in savings. Now, going from the average, typical, a number however you want to look at it, to 4, is something that would be challenging for a family of 4. You probably eliminate outdoor water conservation. But if you are a person, a senior citizen, perhaps living alone, the 1 would be something that's easily achievable. And we have customers right now, 15,000 customers a month that would qualify for the savings for the 1 unit water. So it's entirely possible. And
all they need to do is contact El Paso Water to find out if they would qualify.
Well, actually, you don't even need to contact El Paso Water. You can, if you do achieve the 1 CCF or the 4 CCF number, your savings will be automatic.
All right. What are some of the initiatives that will be funded in this next fiscal budget?
So we have a big amount of the budget is devoted to rehabilitation and replacement of infrastructure. El Paso system, like many municipalities across the country, has a lot of infrastructure that was put in a post-World War II boom. And so now that's 80 years old, needs to be replaced. So we're working on that. Several treatment plants undergoing rehabilitation at the same time. And then also there are some growth projects because El Paso continues to grow, perhaps 1.7%, 2% a year in terms of growth, and that means additional lines, pump stations, reservoirs.
So when we see a water main break somewhere or a sinkhole somewhere, we know that's infrastructure that needs to be replaced.
Correct.
All right. When we return, we're going to talk about El Paso Water's conservation efforts and how you can take part. Stay with us. You're watching ABC 7 Extra Sunday.